Thank you all for joining us for today's event, Catching Up with Coach Enright, the Winter Update. The Alumni Office has put together a variety of virtual events and videos to keep us together when we can't be closer than 6 feet apart. This session will be recorded and posted on our new YouTube channel, Bridgewater College Office of Alumni Relations. At the end of this session, there will be a Q&A session, so please hold all your questions to that time, and you can submit them by using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. If you're joining us on Facebook, then you can also ask questions by commenting on the Facebook post. Thank you all for joining us, and now we would like to welcome head men's basketball coach, Steve Enright.
Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well. We played a college basketball game on Wednesday, so just getting to the game was a victory in itself. There's some things to work out. Randolph-Macon, not sure if you guys knew this, preseason #1 nationally for Division III men's basketball. Obviously a really good team, really good program. In the times of COVID and what we're in right now, things are going to flip extremely rapidly. So, initially we did not have a game on the 20th. We were able to schedule Pfeiffer maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Got the full call from Pfeiffer. They had to bow out, replaced it with Averett, for a hot second, replaced it with Radford, then replaced it with Averett. And, right around 8:45 p.m. the night before the game, Averett called and said, hey, we're down. We got positive tests in our program. So at that point, I thought to myself, okay, let me see, before I notify, people up the chain and tell the players that we're not going to have a game, decided to try to fill it, with a non-conference game, conference opponent. So I texted every head coach in the league that, was either not playing on the 20th or, was supposed to play on the 23rd, but the opponent was shut down or whatever it may be, and knew that they weren't shut down. So Randolph-Macon bit, and we got to play the best team in the country on paper on less than 24 hours notice. So, I think some things to take from the film that we can learn from. I think a lot of guys got the cobwebs off. We've got some transfers, some older guys that, are pretty good players for us, or we think that'll be pretty good players for us that, didn't play college basketball at all last season. So it's actually been a few years since they've played, David Oliveira, Zach Hatter, guys like that, that we think will play big roles for us. So, some good things to take, a lot of things we got to tweak, and, we play again tomorrow and we're ready to go. So, again, as fast as things can flip, we were supposed to play Shenandoah at Shenandoah tomorrow. We have decided mutually between the athletic departments that this is now going to be the conference game and not a non-conference. So we are flipping that to a home game at Bridgewater. So that just happened about a half hour ago, and you always got to be on your toes and always got to be ready to adapt. And, the one thing that we've been saying to our players over and over again is just resiliency and togetherness. One day at a time, you're only promised today. Take today and do the best you can today, and then tomorrow we'll do the same thing. So schedules are going to move, things are going to change, and we'll be ready to go. We'll play whenever, wherever. Keep staying positive with it. Keep making sure that we're staying healthy and doing what we need to do from a mitigation standpoint to stay on the court. And so far, our players have done a very good job with that. So, obviously, I wanted to take a moment to just thank everybody that, came together with this locker room project. We're going to show you the space momentarily with a video. So I wanted to say thank you to our alumni base. Donation-wise, since we unveiled our new cycle and our project starting October 1st, we've already raised to date more than we raised all of last year's cycle. So from October 1st, 2020 to where we are today, we've already outraised ourselves all of last year up until October 1st of 2020 from when I got the job. So can't thank you enough, and want to make sure you see exactly where this is going and how it's going to help our program and how we can continue to build this thing moving forward. Wanted to say thank you to our maintenance physical plant department on campus, Todd and Harry in particular, Reggie Slaughter. Those guys came through big time for us. Wanted to thank Kurt Kendall, for working with us on the project and helping guide us to getting things done and working for us on campus. And wanted to thank Brandon Hatcher and his team at Valley Graphics. They did a tremendous job on the space, and wanted to thank my own staff, you know, Coach Michael, Coach Hatcher working with the alumni base and tying guys together. And Coach Anderson in particular, you know, did a ton of the work in terms of designing the lockers and things like that. He's incredibly talented in the, you know, the graphic and Photoshop space, which is you know, in the new age of college basketball, really important skill. So I wanted to make sure I said thank you to him as well. So we can roll the tape, Maria, and we'll, you know, show you guys what the space looks like. And I'm going to talk over what you see and point some different things out. I've sent some of you guys pictures, sent most of you guys your lockers, but for those of you that haven't seen it completed yet and, you know, aren't going to get to see it in person until a later date, wanted to give you the best look we could possibly give you from a virtual standpoint. So once she cues that video, we'll get going.
Can you see the screen, Steve?
I cannot. Can you?
Okay, let me show it. Are you able to see it now?
I am not.
Hang on 1 second.
Oh, now we got it. Yep. I got it. I can see it.
Okay, I will hit play.
Thank you. All right, so this is the angle of walking into the space. You can see our door. This is what it looked like when we first got to it. You can see some of the construction taking place and now the finished product and where we're at now. So walk in that hallway, immediately to your left are some distinction plaques, you know, NCAA tournament teams, 2 coaches that won a lot of games here and I know are special to a lot of you guys. To your right, we've got our wall of distinction. All-Americans, ODAC Players of the Year, all conference players, career leaders, and 1,000-point clubs, and a few different statistical categories. So, you know, for many of the really good players that came here in the past, your name's on that board. You know, your accolades are presented to our players and those who walk into our space every day. Rounding the corner, you have our jersey board. So you can see the frosted glass in front of the number. And, you know, this is for everybody that represented, you know, jersey number 12 or jersey number 32. When you visit with your family, you can find your name and the years you played. And that'll be part of our new senior day tradition for us as guys graduate. We'll put their names on the plaque. And on the left, you got our court board, which I've talked to you about. Coach Michael is the first signature. I gave him those honors. Coach Hatcher was the second. You can see Clay's name on the elbow and Hatcher's name on the sideline. Now you can see the space with the lockers and just what we started with and what it looks like now. You've got mounted cushions. You've got the locker back graphics. You've got player headshots. You've got, you know, clean paint, you know, a storage space up top. And it came out extremely sharp and our people and Marcus and Coach Hatcher, Brandon Hatcher did great work. You can see there's 20 lockers in this cluster. We went numerical order, kind of players wanted to pick their area. You can see it from the other end now, the before and after. Flip with the wall graphic. You can see the walls are completely wrapped with old pictures and graphics, make the space look really sharp. You see Carlisle Whitelow's locker. That was something that was donated anonymously by one of our alums, and I'm super grateful that we have that message up there. You know, you can see the space. All 20 lockers were wrapped and graphicked, and you know, I think you guys knocked it out of the park. You can see next opponent. You know, a message from us about player-led programs, the Iron Eagle Award won by Hatter, and walking out. You know, the last thing our players see before they go to practice every day is the 1988 team's net above the door, you know, and our goal here is to add another net as soon as possible. But, you know, your team is going to live on in this space forever for those guys that played in 87, 88. So, you know, if you want to see more, I can text you this video. You can share it with your friends and former teammates that aren't on the call, but you know, it's a beautiful space for us. And I can't thank the people that put the work into it enough. And it's going to help us, you know, dramatically in recruiting. It's going to help us with our players and retention and all that stuff. And really it's a key piece to our program now. It's a centerpiece of our space. And maybe for the first time in school history here, we have a real college basketball locker room. And I think it's a great thing to see where, you know, your donations and your time have went. So thank you again, and hope you enjoyed looking at the space. So Moving forward, we're going to do some interviews here. Just hear some other perspectives than me. We're going to start with junior captain Kellen Hodge. So, we can flip and get Kellen on the screen, and I'm going to talk to him and let you hear some of the players' perspective here as we move forward into our season. What's up?
What's up, Coach?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So, for those of you that don't know, Kellen is a junior here. He's from Greensboro, North Carolina, Northern Guilford High School. Started for us last year as a sophomore. Really good interior player for us. Very unique front court player because I think he's, you can make the argument he's the best passer on our team, and a lot of things go through him offensively. Unfortunately, his sophomore season was cut short by injury. Only maybe played in 10 or 11 games, and this year so far we're healthy and played 26 minutes for us in the opener on Wednesday night and did a lot of good things. So I guess, Kellen, tell me about, our team so far and how it's going in terms of blending guys together and what it's like for you in a titled leadership role as a captain, I think for the first time in your college career.
Yeah, I like our team a lot this year. Our guys are very close off the court, and we got guys that have been together for, like, me and Andy have known each other for a while. Jay and Alec have known each other for a while. So there's some chemistry that goes back since this year that's pretty good. As far as being a leader, it's definitely different, an adjustment, but I've liked it so far, being able to kind of get guys together. I think guys listen a lot better than they have in the past. So,
Good.
yeah, so that's good. But it's been really good so far.
Good stuff, man. So, what do you think, like, as a player, what are some of the things that are your strengths, and what do you like to do on the court, and where do you see yourself helping our team?
I think I'm a pretty good defensive guy. I pride myself on playing pretty good defense, doing whatever the team needs, kind of a lot of the dirty work. I think I'm a good passer, so I think I can make pretty much any pass. Just a guy needs to cut,
Right.
get it to him, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, for those of you guys following our team and going to watch some games this year, Kellen is a guy who, very much thrives at the little things. Maybe not going to score 20 a game, whatever it may be, but, is a tremendous passer, like we said, and good low post player, and knows our scheme on both sides of the ball inside out, is capable of switching on the guards and playing good defense and rebounding. And I think those are the areas he's gonna help our team. So I guess last question, how do you think we've done as a team so far, just managing the times we're in and sticking together, and what's been different about this year from a basketball specific sense than in years past?
I think that we've done a really good job all together, is just kind of staying together, not really going out, hanging out with other people. Just we've done a good job at hanging out with each other and kind of trying to limit our exposure to other people and stuff like that. You guys have been able to work with us a lot more than the past 2 years, just because obviously we started later and stuff, and rules are different. So I think that definitely helped a lot. Practices have looked a little different and
Yeah, for sure.
changed a lot on the fly, but I think we've done a really good job at adapting and being able to accept those changes pretty quickly.
No doubt. Well, I appreciate you, Mr. Hodge. I'll see you. You're shooting at 1.
Yes.
All right. I'll see you on the court at 1. And then we'll watch film, we'll practice, and all that good stuff. So I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, man.
Right, sounds good. Appreciate it, Coach.
Later. All right. So we'll jump on with Coach Beach now, talk a little bit about the strength and conditioning side. Just to preview this, Coach Beach and I have worked together for a few years now. When he was here, when I was an assistant here, and we've become very good friends over the years. I think as a strength coach, he's second to none. He's a Division I caliber strength coach that we have here at Bridgewater, and I think he's outside of our coaching staff, as far as, your support goes beyond your immediate basketball orbit, I think he's the most important guy we got, just in terms of what he can do with our players when we're not around, our off-season programming and different things like that. So, Coach Brandon Beach, I appreciate you joining us, man. I guess we'll start with tell us about your background. Where'd you play? Where were you before you came to Bridgewater?
Played at James Madison right up the road here. I graduated there in 04, 05. I was part of the 04 championship team. And then from there, I coached, got my master's degree while I was there, and then went up to Hofstra University for 2 years, then Wagner for 4 years, and ended up back here. This is my 7th season here at Bridgewater. A whole bunch of different accolades and stuff, but it's not really about me. So that's how I kind of ended up here.
There you go. So take us through, what is, preseason, in season, what's the difference between what your role is with our guys? What does it look like fall before we start practicing in an ordinary year or this year? And then, what's it look like in season? And then what's it look like beyond the season in summer and getting better and all that?
Yeah, an ordinary year, the kids have the program in hand 50 weeks out of the year. So they always have something to do where either it's lifting, running, mobility, they have some type of program in hand 50 weeks out of the year. So a typical preseason, like let's say a normal preseason, not this preseason, we'll get them back on campus in August, and they'll start working with us, and we'll try to get them ready for your guys' preseason.
Right.
And in season, we typically try to adjust our programming based off of the minutes that our guys are getting. So if we got guys, we have a handful of guys that get a lot of minutes. We like to try to do something different with them than the guys aren't getting as many minutes. We try to get some more development with those guys. So we're trying to develop as much talent as we possibly can while staying ready to play. Because at any moment, we all know how the sport is. Things can change rapidly, and you might have to have more people play than you originally wanted. So as we go through and postseason, we'll do an evaluation of how the season went, body weight, we'll do some testing, and then set up for the summer. We'll meet with the kids, find out where our goals are going to be, and then proceed to make that the program during the summer so they have a packet when they go home. This season was dramatically different. We had a whole fall with them, which was great for development purposes. And then, to be honest with you, it was great because we actually had a preseason where we were able to condition the kids. We get to see them twice a day. So developmental wise, that was good for us. I don't know if kids liked it as much, but it was definitely, taxing on them. But at the same time, they do a good job of expressing the way their body's feeling and dealing. And we take all that information into account when we program, and we'll adjust as we go. We could be doing yoga or limber 11 or something different based off of, if they're getting beat up a little bit, we want to take care of them so they can be on the court and do what they came here to do, which was play basketball and not lift weights.
There you go. Very good, Coach. We appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for your time. So now we'll shift. I got Coach Noe, one of my assistants here. Just so again, you can meet the rest of our orbit. So he'll flip on next from Coach Anderson's computer, and then we'll go to Coach Anderson and then take questions and go from there. So thanks, Coach Beach. Appreciate your time. Coach, what's up?
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Never better. So this is Daniel Noe. He's second-year assistant for us. So tell us about yourself, Coach. Where'd you play? Where are you from? And tell us about your past before coming to Bridgewater.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Fairfax, Virginia. My freshman year of college, I went to the Naval Academy and played there for a year before transferring to Randolph-Macon, actually. Graduated from Randolph-Macon in 2018. And then I was fortunate enough to go overseas and pursue a master's degree and play for a year in Ireland, which was an awesome experience. And then once I got back from that, I was fortunate enough to join the staff here, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, what's the difference for you between transitioning from being a player to being a coach?
The hardest thing for me is just kind of reining back the leadership that you have as a player and being able to get on guys a little bit more, that they're your boys, and you're in the locker room, you're in the dorm room hanging out with them after you get on that. Having that kind of player-player relationship and adjusting that to a coach-player relationship has been a challenge that I've embraced, and I think I've learned a lot in that aspect.
Yeah, no doubt. So, what would you say, as a coach now, what are your biggest strengths? What do you think you bring to our staff?
I think one of the biggest things is just the player development piece.
Yeah.
I love being on the court with the guys. I actually just got done with the workout about 20 minutes ago. So that's one thing that I really enjoy doing. I pride myself on getting guys in the gym, getting them going hard, making shots. And then game prep, I think is, again, last year I really learned a lot how to put a scouting report together, what you're looking for in scouting reports. I think I've come a long way with that. And then just all the ops stuff, getting the bus ready, getting the travel stuff, it's getting all ready to go.
Yeah.
It's a lot behind the scenes that you don't see as a player. So I'm definitely
No doubt. Yeah, I remember going through it myself. But anyway, appreciate you jumping on, introducing yourself. Coach Noe is a tremendous piece of our staff. Obviously, I'm very lucky here as we build this program is I got two guys that are boots on the ground full time every day. Like you said, they're on the court with guys every day, extra workout, shooting, all that stuff. So makes our program better. But you can slide out, Coach, and go to the bullpen for the closer, Coach Anderson. Bring out the power writing.
Coach, how we doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? So
Pretty
first,
good.
before we start this is the guy, all these graphics you see in the locker room, like he put it all together, like in terms of the lockers and all that. Then when we sent it to Brandon Hatcher, he made it to scale and printed it and installed it and did that piece. But Marcus is an absolute wizard with Photoshop. I thought I was good, when I was an ops guy, when I was in Division I and all that, and I had to make the mailings and the graphics and do the social media stuff. I thought I was pretty good. Not even close to this guy. So not even close.
Appreciate that, Coach.
So, all right, tell us about yourself, man. Where are you from? Where'd you play? All that stuff before you got here.
Well, as you know, my dad was in the military. So growing up, we moved all over the place, but I call Hampton Roads, Virginia home because that's where I was from about middle school, high school. After graduating from high school, I played a couple years at Lees McRae College, the Dunk Mountain, as they like to call it. So I was there for a couple years. And then as soon as I graduated there, I was fortunate enough to, I think 2 or 3 months after graduation, land my first job here. And I've been here since third year.
So Coach Anderson was here after I had left as an assistant, so in that gap. And then when I got hired here, opted to retain Coach Anderson, and that was the right decision for me to make, obviously. So, yeah, you're welcome, Coach. So that was good that worked out that way. But I guess, same question for you that I asked for Coach Noe. Like, what's the biggest difference from transitioning from player to coach for you?
The biggest thing I think is just being on the sidelines during the game and not being able to directly affect it. There's times when my first year, the other team would go on a run and I'd be like, put me in the game.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a not really helpless feeling, but you just have to find a different way to affect the outcome of the game. So that difference there is the biggest one that I had to get used to.
There you go. And what do you think your strengths are as a coach?
Oh, I would say relationship-based stuff, like, just getting to know the players, trying to.
Yeah, I think our guys like you, so I'd agree with that. Keep
I hope they like me. They might be watching this right now saying.
No, I think they do. I can tell if they don't. They definitely like you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing for me is like relationship building and things like that. So I think that's my biggest strength. And then, like stuff off the court, projects, the special projects, things like that. I think I bring something to the team there.
Yeah. So I mean, Marcus is in a role that, I've been in the past, and his job is to be, my right-hand guy on everything, and just sniff things out before they happen and make sure keeping me aligned with what I need to do, but also having a big impact on the basketball side and the decision making's there. And recruiting's a piece of it, but it's not just like Marcus is not just a guy who's, running around and trying to get players only or just being tight with the guys. I mean, from a basketball scheme standpoint, he knows his stuff, and I lean on him heavily there, both sides of the ball, personnel decisions, and then just really being an extension of me around the office. And he does a great job with that. So we're very fortunate to have both these guys as well as Coach Beach. So hopefully that gave you guys a feel for what the inner workings of our staff are like day to day. You got to hear from Kellen. And Maria, before we open it up to Q&A, I want to just, if we can, play the locker room video one more time and just, let it play. And then after that, we'll open it up to Q&A. You can ask questions of me. You can ask questions of Coach Anderson, Coach Noe, or Coach Beach. We're all around. So, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and cue it. So second look, just to give you the feel, here we go. Walking in. Before, middle, finished product. Jersey board on the right, court board on the left. Distinction plaques, NCAA tournament teams, and Coach Myers and Coach Leatherman. Wall of distinction, career leaders, All-Americans, ODAC Players of the Year, All Conference, 1,000-point club. Jersey board. Players can see who wore their number before them. This goes all the way back to the 40s. Alumni court board. When you visit, grab the Sharpie, sign your name wherever you want it. You see Coach Mike on the elbow, Coach Hatch on the sidelines. Locker row for players. Before, middle, finished product. You can see your graphic in the back for those of you that sponsored. I think they came out really sharp. You can see the wall wrap photos. That goes all the way around to the entry hallway. Other angle, before, after. The whiteboard is actually frosted glass, so I got to make sure I don't hit that thing at halftime. Coach Anderson's got to remind me of that. You can see the other row. Very much appreciate all our sponsors on this. I think it came out great. See, there's another cluster over there that'll be used for coaches and miscellaneous items or whatever we need to put there. You can see the next game. Obviously, that's going to change on the fly. Walking out, see the distinction jersey board, all that from the other angle. And the last thing our players will see when they come out to practice is that 1988 team's net. All right. Thank you very much, Maria. So we'll open it up now. Anybody has questions, feel free to follow Maria's cue and we'll be happy to answer them.
It's for all the panelists that are watching and participants. If you look at the bottom of your screen, there's a little button that says Q&A, and it has two little message bubbles talking to each other. So that is what you can click to submit any questions you might have. And I'm also going to check the Facebook page just in case anyone comments a question there. So one question we have for Coach Enright.
All right.
What was the hardest part of the renovation process for the locker rooms?
Honestly, out of our control. It was just COVID and timing and just guess, like, cause there was a long process where we weren't allowed to have outside people in the building. So, just so you guys are aware, like this is something that got off the ground in like February. Conversations were starting in the middle of last season, and the plan was to map it out, raise the money last spring that we would have needed to complete the project, and then, unveil it in the summer. Obviously, that got all pushed back. So our goal at the next point was to, unveil it at the beginning of the cycle and start the sponsorship process. And, you guys jumped on board with that, which is great. We raised more than enough money to get it done. And, we're able to do the project in the fall and finish it by the time our players were going to be able to use it, which was January, based on the timeline we were getting about our season starting in the fall. So that was just what made it hardest. Our administration was great with it. Bought into the idea once I had presented to them last season, and kind of knew that this was a need we had to address and something that had been talked about for a long time. And now it finally got done, and I think it's a big upgrade for our program and will enhance our operation all around.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing about that. And then another question, let me pull it up, was asking about if you're excited about the live stream option for all of the games this year. So that way, people who normally wouldn't be able to come in person to a game, even if it wasn't a COVID, pre-COVID, wouldn't have been able to come because they lived in another state, that now more people will be able to watch and cheer you guys on.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's great. I think our media people, Steve Cox, Lynn Walsh, Jimmy McCumber, they do a very good job putting out a good product. You can see we have a commentator, we have a graphic with time and score. So it's really like watching a game on television. So we have always had that since I've been involved with the program. I know my first year as an assistant, it was, non-HD, which, Coach Post, to his credit, got that changed very quickly, and HD became free. So it's always been there, and maybe people haven't necessarily known that, but now it's the product's enhanced, and we try to do the best we can to do it at a high level so you can watch from home. And, every game on our schedule, keep checking that schedule game, by the way, because dates, times, and opponents are going to change like on the fly. It's a little bit of a fly by night operation, but next to the game on the schedule, just click the watch button or the video button, and it'll take you right to the stream. It's free and it's archived, so it's always up there. If you miss it, if we have a 2:00 tip on a Saturday, and you're not able to sit down and watch it at 2, like you'll be able to watch it at 5:30 when you get home. You can just click the button and there it'll be. So great option. Helps fans, parents, boosters, alumni, whatever it may be, follow along from home if they can't be here in person.
Absolutely. And I think you're right, because that is something that, you and I knew about prior, but
Yeah,
I think
sure.
many people,
Yeah.
Didn't know, or if they did know, didn't realize that it's such great high quality. Like you said, it's like watching, a game on
Yeah.
TV. And so,
Absolutely.
especially with all the sports seasons changing this year, you need something to watch Bridgewater basketball, or, the other sports we have going on this spring. So that's great.
There you go. Exactly.
We have 2 questions popping up here. So one says, Coach Enright, I am encouraged about alumni participation this year. What do you need most from BC basketball alumni for now and throughout the season?
Great question. I think just, support and engagement and pulling more people into the fold. I've said from jump that, since getting the job that we had, I think some different parties rowing in different directions when I got hired. And I think, and it starts with you guys being bought into our vision. I think we have fixed a lot of the issues that plagued us in maybe the last 10 to 15 years. But I would say just support and bringing more guys back into the fold. I've talked to so many guys on the phone or via text that, tell me, hey, like Bridgewater basketball is close, it's something that I hold close to me. Like I care about it. It is my identity of being a Bridgewater College grad, but I just haven't followed the program in the last 8 years or 20 years or whenever they graduated, and I just maybe didn't feel the outreach. So hopefully you guys can see, like, I'm very open. You're going to get monthly communication from me. We're going to do these, 3-4 times a year, so you can see my face and hear me talk. You're always, again, in normal times, ordinary times, you're always welcome at practice, anytime. Just tell me you're coming. I'll make sure you've got a chair to sit in, all that. So I would say just continue what you're doing. Engagement. We're going to have another project in terms of enhancing a physical piece of our program to come next. So I will unveil that in the spring. I can't say too much on it now, but it has already been approved. So we're going to have another physical upgrade to our physical space for our players going forward in the next year that we're excited about. But I will, like I said, unveil that in the spring. And then beyond that, we're looking foreign trip summer 2022. We've got to raise a lot of money for that. And that's a great thing for our program. So if you're a guy who's dialed in, following, engaged, bring some other guys back into the fold and don't hesitate to ask me to connect with them, because I think it's really important to have our current players as connected to what came before them as humanly possible.
Absolutely. That's great. We always want as many people involved as possible. And sometimes it just takes one person to reach out to a friend or a buddy and say, hey, did you hear, this is what's going on with Bridgewater basketball? And that's all it takes to bring them back into the fold. Another question is, what has been the most difficult part of recruiting in this time in the world with the pandemic and lack of games and access to games?
That's a good question. I think your timeline's just off. Like a lot of times, particularly at the small college levels, when I say small college, you're talking low Division I, Division II, Division III, junior college, which is, where I've spent all but 2 years of my college career. I think you're going to get a lot of your best work done late, and that's just the reality of it. So, we have one guy or two guys committed now, actually, a transfer and an incoming freshman for next fall. The transfer, we were trying to figure out to get him here at the break and just fell through for reasons outside of his control as well as ours. But just your timeline, trying to figure out needs. And honestly, the other thing is the blanket waiver, is I'm not a huge believer in over recruiting and bringing in 30 guys every year and let it figure itself out. I just think that lends you to problems, that lends you to retention issues and things like that. So we've tried to recruit more to spots or recruit almost like we have scholarships. And I think we've done a good job of that through our first class. So with the waiver and guys not losing a year for this season, it kind of throws off, okay, what do you need in 2021? So, I think we've filled a need certainly with our guys incoming. I think we'd like to get a bigger guy. I think we need more size, but size for me is I like guys that can either run and jump, or can shoot. They got to be able to do one of the two. And if you're talking 6'7", 6'8" guys, if they can do one of the two, I might be able to get them. If they can do both, I'm not getting them here. So you got to be creative, and try to find guys that make sense. So I think, just timeline and the waiver and trying to figure out what makes sense for your program. But we've got the spring, and hopefully by the spring we'll be able to go see kids in person again. And that's going to help me, I think, nail down some physical relationships with guys that are going to get them to want to be here.
Absolutely. I think that's a great answer. That is all of the questions that we received. Are there any last remarks or anything you'd like to share with us, Coach Enright?
No, just thank you to all involved. Keep supporting these guys this year. They've been through a lot for young people, just to, the constant lack of stability. And we've done the best we can as coaches to keep them tight and keep them together. And I think that our team has done a great job getting us to this point. I think that our people around us, our athletic training staff, our strength and conditioning staff, our athletic administration staff, have done a great job supporting us and getting us to this point. So just stay with us. I think this team, it's a young team, it's a new team. I think we've got some really, really intriguing pieces, and now it's my job to blend it, and figure out where we're going to be, a few years from now, as well as this year. And I think that, this is absolutely a program on the rise. I think this is absolutely a program that we're going to get to where we want to be. So, stick with us and keep watching us, keep supporting us, and stay in touch with me if anything pops into your head. We'd love to keep our relationships going, and can't thank your emotional, financial, whatever it may be, support for our program. We love our alumni base, and hopefully you see the direction we're going in and like what you see. And, thanks again for your time and jumping on this call so we can update you. And we'll do another one of these spring and summer and postseason and tie things together and fill you in on what's going on, going into next season. So daily building process, and thank you again.
Thank you, Coach Enright, as well as the other members of your coaching staff who joined us today, and the current players. We really appreciate you all sharing updates of what's going on, especially during this time where, all of our fans have to be a little more distant than we would like, but we encourage you all to, please feel free to live stream the games or watch them when you can. Feel free to reach out and just share encouraging or supportive messages to our players as they face this new season that they've, never faced before in their time here. So thank you for supporting our Eagles. This is a program that, like I mentioned at the beginning, you will be able to watch again later, either on our Facebook page or YouTube channel. It'll be uploaded there within 48 hours. So thank you all so much, and go Eagles.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Thank you.